right, here we go. This is a Dorset button, also known as a thread button. It's made entirely out of thread. And back in the 18th century, one of the cottage industries in England was people sitting home and making these Dorset buttons by the hundreds and selling them to the market. So we're going to make one right now. This shirt will have 4 of these buttons. So what I do is I use this thread. It's a little bit heavier than the sewing thread. It's maybe, I think it's either a 16 weight or it's a 35 weight. So what I do is I grab about 2 arm lengths of thread. 1, 2. Cut that off. We don't need that. Now I know the camera can't follow me, but I've divided the thread in half. And I'm going to put 7 coats of wax. I'm going to run the thread through the wax 7 times, giving it 7 coats. So let's just take a second. And I'll tell you what this wax is for in a second. 2, 3, 4, 5. This is really exciting video. And 7. Okay, we're done with that. Now, they use stilettos in 18th century sewing, but you don't have to use one of these. You can use a knitting needle, you can use a pencil, you can use just about anything that is this basic shape. Now, the way I learned to do this, you have to find a spot on the taper that you want to make your button on. I do it right about the middle. So I wrap the waxed end of the thread around that point 35 times. 4, 5, 6. Now when I'm doing this, I'm trying to keep the thread right on top of itself. 11, 12. And periodically you'll have to stop and take your fingernails and just push it together. 17, 18, 19, 20, 2, 3, 4, 6, 35. Okay, just take it and push that together.
The wax makes it sticky.
That's right, I was going to say that. The wax is what holds the whole thing together temporarily. We'll remove that from the taper and get rid of that. We don't need that. Just kind of push it back together. It's not very, it'll be all right. So that's the beginning of the button. You grab the other end, and for a needle, I use a crewel needle that they use for embroidery. And you insert your thread through that. Now I've got a threaded crewel needle, and I've got the button picked up in my left hand. You're going to stick the needle through the hole, and you're going to wrap the thread around the needle, pull it through. This is, by the way, a buttonhole stitch. We just did a mess of them, so it should be fairly easy to remember. So there's one. So we'll go through the hole, wrap the thread around the needle, pull the needle through. Trying to hold still for the camera. So there's 2 of them. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do those stitches all the way around the button, and I'm not going to hold you up. We'll turn the camera off and pick it up again at the end. There's the 3rd one. It's going to take quite a few of these. So there we go. All right, so we've got that 2nd button done, and we're now ready to sew them on. And I've already taken a second to locate where I want to put the button, which is right here where that pin is. So I'm going to remove the pin. and sew it on there. If you're tackling the project of a hand-sewn shirt, you've probably hand-sewn buttons on before, so I probably don't have to be too detail-oriented in this. It's pretty much the same. You just go through the shirt, come back through the button, and I'm using that crewel needle to sew this on with. I'll be going back and forth through this a couple times, several times, just a couple times. Out again. And that's basically it. I'll just wrap this around here. I have a little loop on there, but that's all right. And then I'll send the needle back down through and tie it off. Then I'll just tie the needle off. And I'll do the same thing to the other button. I'll put the other button right up in here. And then that'll take care of this stage of the shirt. So we'll end the video now. And the next time we meet, I'll be cutting out the parts to the sleeves and sewing those together. So thanks for watching.